Good day YouTube, my name is Setokyo and I will be teaching you how to use a program named Gimp. Now Gimp stands for GNU Image Manipulation Program. Now Gimp is a free and open source software which allows you to do anything graphically. So if you're graphically inclined or art literate, Gimp is for you. Now there are many different photo editing image manipulation programs which are out. There are commercial ones like Photoshop, which is kind of pricey but it works. Then we have Gimp, which is free and also works. Now I'm not saying that Photoshop is better than Gimp or Gimp better than Photoshop. It is up to you to decide which one works for you. Later on down in the series I will be adding some Photoshop tutorials which better for you to shift out to see which is better for you. Now on to the actual tutorial. So here is the website for you to download Gimp. I will add that into the description bar. And if you are a person who like their portable programs like me, you have Gimp Portable. So all portable really means is that you can install it on a flash drive and you can carry it from computer to computer without any hassles. Everything will be on your flash drive. So once you download it and install it, you should have this. And my bar seems to be running. Here we go. So we have this. Now Gimp is known as three parts. We have the toolbox, the pasteboard, and the layers and channel. Now in newer versions of Gimp they're trying to correct this, where they're trying to merge everything as one. Hopefully it comes up before I die, but if not, well, we'll have to be stuck like this for the time being. Photoshop has everything integrated. Now let me just cancel this. Now this is how it looks. So from here you have the toolbox, which should be your little tools and not what for you to manipulate and distort your picture. Then we have things like filters, which gives pretty decent effects, which I will show you how to use these, and the layers, channels, and onto button. The layers are like little mini stacks of images which you use in order to do your final picture or final image distortion, whatever you choose to call it. The channels will be different color selection. If you know your YMCK or RGB, this will apply to you. Gimp only uses RGB. Photoshop uses the full color spectrum CMYK. The pass, that will be when you are more, I would describe pass later on down in tutorials. And the undo history is when you, let's say you made a mistake, you can go back to here and to get it. Now if you have to by any chance lose any two of these, okay, let's start back. Like I said, if by any chance you manage to lose the other window that is closed, you go into Windows, Dockable, recently closed docs, and you have it right here, which will give you back. Now this is as important as this, because if you don't have this you'll be in hell. If you don't have this, the program closed like I just saw. So run it back up and let's get going on a simple design. Now we're gonna do something simple. How about I show you how to use the tools first. So you go here, which you have the color space, RGB, which is red, green, and blue. So you give it two options: grayscale or RGB. Fill with background color, white, or transparency. I leave it on transparent because it gives me the ability to do what I have to do. So again, create with Setokyo. Now press enter. I would touchy issue on resolutions later on down. It does not apply to you now. So you hit OK, and you get this. Now this is what we call transparent. Anytime when you see these shades, these gray shade blocks on your pasteboard, this is when it is transparent. So by transparent, there is no color. So for you to add any color you want, let's say we want to do a simple background with a simple star or a simple dot. So with it, we're going to paint the paint bucket tool, which we'll be using the color. If you scroll down, you will see here this affected box here, where we have affected area, whole select, fill whole selection, or fill similar colors. If you use fill whole selection, whatever is on that layer will be completely painted over. Now with layers, like I said, the more layers you have, the easier it is for you to correct. Because if you do everything on one layer, it will be harder for you to retrace your steps on what go wrong. So let me say I have black and I wanted blue on it, and I decide I will go and paint a white background on it, and I wanted to remove that. I can't because everything is on one layer. So I have to go back into the undo history and go right back up. So what we do is we highlight, pick a nice good bright color you want. Normally I'm darkish, so I would pick whatever that color is. I hit OK, and I highlight it. We have a nice good darkish green or darkish blue, not really too sure what color that is. So now we go down here to create a new layer. Like I said, transparent. So now with this, we go on the line tool, which is also known as gradients. Now gradients will be your best friend when you are dealing with for the design and for the edits. Because what a gradient is when there is more than one color integrated into one sheet. What I'm trying to say is that a gradient could be more than one color is integrated like this. So if I do that, you see that there are different colors. Now now gradients have different shapes. What I mean by shapes is that they're different. When I use my gradient, there are different ways for it to come out. I can have linear, which should be lines, bilinear, which should be two lines. We could have radial, which should be like a circle, like which will have circles. We have square, which will get little squares. We have conical, like concave, which is like a little like a blur effect or something. And we have spiral, which always make me dizzy. So we're going to start on our very first effect. So what should I do? I will show you how to use gradients. So we go on here and we highlight on I will do a wallpaper using a bleach character, but you could use any character you want. So what you do, you just type bleach into the search bar you have and type renders. Now what renders are particular pictures which have the background removed, and by background I mean you can look here and you can see it is white, but you will see what I mean. So what you do, you look for a particular render or image you like. You go and pick which one you like. I will use the one here with icing. So you click on icing. If you are using Firefox, you follow these steps. What you do is that you go on the full image and you have this. Now you have two options. You highlight this, copy it, back to Gimp, file, open location and paste it, and it should open up. In here, if you don't want to do that, you have the other option of this, taking it and dragging it in to Gimp. Now this will only work with Gimp. This will not work with Photoshop. If you want to do that, you can save the image, and then you can open it up from the desktop like I have here. Good. Now I'm going to use a simple effect using the blur. So I'm going to close this down, and I am going to create a new wallpaper, probably about this amount. Go down to advanced features and make sure that it's transparent. We have this now. So what we're going to do is you are going to go and do a white background, and you're going to highlight a new layer and get transparent. Right, go to the background, hit the blend or gradient tool. Where you see mode, which is normal, you are going to go down and hit difference. You're going to select your spiral, select your shape, sorry, and hit linear. Now with this, mine is different from you. What I want you to do, this is where it becomes all on you. Look for a gradient that has 3 or 4 more colors. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our own different taste of background. This sort of background is called abstract, and I use it in almost all of my wallpapers. So you will click, and you, where the line is, you go wherever you want on the screen. Where it comes up, you have this. Now just go mad, do whatever you want, highlight what you want to highlight. If you want to add different shapes, you can do that. Go to the shape, you can add radial, which will give you those nice looking bubbles. You can do that, or add little squares in it. As for me, I never use the spiral, only these. Now once you have that, you have 2 options. I'll show you the very easy and error proof way. You create, now with the new layer you created, go onto it and name it main color. So to rename it, you click on the text 1, or right click and you go on edit layer attributes. You have that. Now pick a main color you want from here. I will go with my, for me I like to use dark colors, but you could use light or whatever suits you. So I'm going to pick a darkish red. Then go back to the paint bucket tool and you highlight your color. Now what you do is where you have mode, you highlight. Now what mode is on the layers is it gives you different settings. So do multiply. What multiply does is that multiply would darken it, but I'm not going to use multiply today. What I'm going to use color. So what color does, color, as I said, it color over the background. You could do that, but if you want to do the other approach, you could go back to gradient or paint bucket tool and you pick a color that suits you. I find nothing here that you want, so go on paint bucket. Now where you have mode on bucket fill, you highlight that to hue. You go on the background, the main one, which is highlighted, because if you highlight on this and you paint that, that becomes painted, not the one that's here. So this full photo, make sure you always highlight the image before you use it, where it should be highlighted in white. So you go on that now with hue highlighted and you paint it, and you have that. which does not really give you a full effect as if you are doing color. So you could hue it, and you could color it, or you could do whatever suits you. Now since we have this, we're going to use our Aizen background wallpaper. So you edit, copy, minimize this, we don't need it anymore. Go to this, edit, and paste as new layer. There we go. We have this now, which is a little bit big, but we don't mind. You will use the eraser tool. Make sure you have the Aizen layer highlighted. Now you see where we have a scale. What the scale does, it shows you how big or how small you want the eraser to be. So you erase this, what we have here. Good. Now what you could do from here is you could either use the text tool, and from here you could use your own text. Let's hit close and you're finished. Now we can't see it, so we have to go to the text box. Remember, if you use any tool here, how to use it will be down here. So we have tool, we have a different font which we can use to highlight or use. So I will go with my Old English. Then we have the size, which you can use in inches. Then you highlight inches. You highlight, you have there, because right. So then we scroll it. Oopsie, we scroll it down. Right. Then we change the color. So we go to color and give it a blue. And there we go. We have one side of the first wallpaper. It isn't the best wallpaper, but hey, for first try, it could work. So then you go to File, Save As, and what you do is make sure, number one, save the image that Gimp could use. So if you like it and you want to go back to it again, you use the Gimp XCF image. So what it does, it saves a physical copy to the hard drive. Save it. Now if you want to use it as a wallpaper, save as, where you have selection type, you scroll down to JPEG. It should be here. You save it, it will ask you to export, because JPEG is one big image. So what Gimp does is that Gimp flattens everything on top of each other like a painting. So we export, we maximize it, and we save. So this is our first tutorial. I hope you like it. Subscribe, comment, and rate. I am going to do a Facebook page where you could show me your edits and all that sort of stuff. So thank you, and this is my first tutorial. Shout out goes to Cool Kid Cool 29, if you remember, and Hidden Abilities. So good day, YouTube.